Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Chuck Norris once slept in. Now we have daylight savings.
Hey!
When Chuck Norris goes to the beach for a swim, the whales, the sharks get a warning. There you go. There's me openers.
Wow. He's just gone right off in the holster there and smashed us through with some jokes. Josh, I'm proud of you because it's been a while. You've been lax on the jokes. We've been lax on doing episodes, to be honest.
We have been lax.
It's been a while. Thanks.
It's been 100% Josh's fault.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. When I'm in demand, it's just what it is, mate.
Look, we need to pick up the pieces from the last episode we did, which was a debate with Josh and myself, and
Oh, yeah.
let's
Jesus,
just,
Sounds good.
The fallout has
Was it that long
been
ago?
epic. The fallout has been epic. We've repaired a relationship and we're together again tonight, united.
You still haven't bought me a
was
cake to apologise yet, mate. I know I only eat
was a rough
sugar-free
few weeks.
cakes.
What is with you and apology cakes? Every time something goes wrong, it's like, oh, buy me an apology cake.
He loves his cake.
For someone who's gone mostly sugar-free, an apology cake is a weird way to get back in your good graces, Josh.
Or is it? Because I can watch you eat the cake and get fatter and I stay lean.
Just defaults to fat shaming. I mean,
I never fat shamed. I said I can watch you get fatter.
That's
it's a morbid fascination of yours. It really is. You monitor my weight like too closely for my liking, to be honest.
Mate, you know the rule, under 50 kilos, all right?
your head's not under 50 kilos, man.
I haven't been under 50 kilos since I was about 10, bro. So
Have you seen his calves?
Yeah, true.
One calf.
Is 50.
far out. But yeah, no, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've been together. Well, actually, I tell a lie. Couchy, you were down here a couple of weeks ago. We filmed a special episode. Filmed a special episode with the Impact Dynamics podcast. Rusty and the crew there. So stay tuned for that whenever that's finished in post-production.
That was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, it was
I'll
a
give them that.
really good night, actually.
Yeah.
It was.
Had fun. Good to be under the bright lights with a host and, not having to run the show, just be a guest and participate. It's a good night. Plenty of fun was had.
Jeez, you make things sound boring, eh?
Mate, well, you're not giving me anything right now. Lift.
Hard.
Can you fucking lift, please?
You haven't said anything yet.
I'm you're just sitting there like, I got to carry the thing. Like, can you just interject, please? Give me some pep.
No,
Give me some zoosh.
It's your turn to be the clown, mate.
It's not in me. I'm not a clown.
Are you sure?
There used,
I'll
to
tell
be,
you what, though,
there used to be a clown in you, Josh.
At the fucking, what do you call it? I don't even know what you call it. I think the game show. We kind of found out that we're not the larrikins that we thought we were.
No, used to a serious
that
as. And yeah.
Oh, rightio.
You both are. Very, very serious human beings, especially when it comes to being in front of other people. I am as well, but that's fine.
Look, we tend to be on our best behaviour when we have other guests around, so that's probably what it was. But we'll see see how it comes out in post, mate.
We warmed up though.
Yeah, once everyone started, well, getting a few into them, let the rivers flow.
Look, we're not used to the bright lights and the multiple cameras and the audience and the whole setup. So, yeah, stay tuned.
I'll
It'll be
tell you
good.
what was fun. Driving that racetrack that they've got upstairs. They're
Slot
little,
cars.
slot cars or whatever you want to call them. That was
pretty cool.
cool.
It's like an adult style slot cars. So they get up and boogie.
Yeah.
And then Josh couldn't work out where to brake or where to speed up. And he just like.
But there is no
kept going off the
brake.
track.
You just got to ease off the accelerator.
Yeah, and then he couldn't work that one out.
No, because
Pulling off.
sometimes it was going through fine and then it just wasn't. I'm like, okay. So you back off and then you sort of like back off like way too much and the car stops. You're like, what is wrong?
Just the virtual world mimicking reality yet again.
Just the arthritis is cramping.
It's all right, Josh. You're the worst driver between the three of us, so it's all good.
Yeah,
He
I
actually
beat you
drove
on
the
the
track
go-kart
like he
track
does in
all
real
the
life.
time.
Never.
All the time.
Never.
Never.
I literally
never
have
go-kart.
on my phone the photos of the standings from the last
Bro,
go-kart.
you're like a $150. A 50cc engine ain't pulling your ass around that track real quick.
So you're saying Donkey Kong beat Toad?
No, not at all. His brother bet both of us, and then I came second, and then you came third.
Did he bet? How much did he bet?
Beat. Beat bet.
I won at the English
Not the
game.
same.
That's all right, because I win at the walking game. So.
Low blow, bro.
So
Anyway.
he wins at the walking for now. Give him 5 years and he won't be able to walk.
I did a 6K run/walk this morning, eh? Fuck.
What?
I'm rooted.
And how much? What was the percentage of run/walk?
So it started off as run as far as you could go, and then it was
How far was that?
5 minutes walk, 2 minutes run, and then that sort of just got to the point until my lower back seized. So it was a real shock to the system this morning.
Oh dear.
So yeah,
What?
I'm a bit out of
So-
practice.
I'm guessing you went with the missus.
Yeah, we both got up at 6 and went for a run/walk.
Nice.
So it's actually a good way to start the day.
Yeah.
After you embrace the suck and get through that, it's actually you're up and about for the day.
You feel good. Top it off with a cold shower, and you're pretty much Joe Rogan.
Well,
I wish I had time for something before work in the mornings. I was at work at 6. So that'd be nice.
I mean, you just go move everything back a bit, man. Start at 5.
Fuck no. And then you guys want to have a podcast at this time of hour, though I just can make it.
I mean, I'm just glad you can be here, to be honest, because let's be honest, this season has been a shambles of
been a
actually
shambles.
recording episodes. We'll circle back to that. Thank you for enduring probably the weirdest season ever, where we did say we were just going to see how we went. We've run into some not serious dramas, but some obstacles to navigate with our time schedules and being in different states and all this sort of stuff. So as that settles down in the new year, we should be okay. But yeah,
Bear with us.
thanks for everyone who's reached out so far and had a bit of a chat and asked if we're okay and made sure that Josh and I hadn't got into her actual blue after the last episode. We're all good. It's fine. That was less heated than a lot of debates we have outside the podcast. So
It wasn't even a debate.
well,
really.
it wasn't really. It was
Nah, I was just telling you to
Actually,
fix
wasn't
your
too bad.
life, but you still haven't done anything about that, so that's all right.
It wasn't too bad, really, to be honest. So, from a non-religious person, that's saying something, I guess.
I'm not the best articulated person as well, so yeah, if you hung in through that episode, yeah.
I mean,
Well
people
done.
were sending us thumbs up. They made it to the end. So good on you. If you sent us the thumbs up that you made it through, like we asked, well done to you.
It's kind of like at school when you're putting your hand up and you're like, you're fucked. And you're sort of like struggling. That's the thumbs up that they meant.
What school
They,
did you
they
go to?
struggled through the episode.
Yeah. Clearly a
went to
public.
school, yeah.
Put your hand up when you're fucked. What the hell? What's going on in the classroom?
You know how you when you put your hand up and you're waiting for the teacher to like be like, yes, what the fuck do you want? But then they're taking forever, so you sort of support the one arm.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Yeah. So that was the thumbs up of the listeners because they struggled through it, but that was like a muster was just a thumbs up.
All I'm getting is you're allowed to ask questions at school. Man,
Josh doesn't know what it is to
fair.
put his hand up. He never had the answer.
that was missed at Catholic school.
You didn't want to stand out in front of the Pope at a Catholic school, did you?
Nah, not a chance, mate. Not a chance. I still had a cane at school, actually, for the first few
Like
years.
to walk or
No, we got whacked by the cane, and then it sort of transitioned and petered out to they, I guess, weren't allowed to do it, but the headmaster still did it. So every time you're in trouble, the teacher would just be like, "That's it, I'm ringing the headmaster, Mr. Whittington, his name was," and he'd come into the class and it would make a spectacle of smacking the kid in front of the whole entire class.
Oh, the shame.
I do look back now and I'm like, was that the right thing to do? Probably not.
Oh, look, the embarrassment of it's probably more of a punishment than actually copping the cane.
Say that to 8-year-old butt cheeks.
No, thank you. I'm leaving that well alone. Thank you, Josh. Oh, dear. Anyway, do you like how I've decided to camouflage with the Christmas tree behind us?
it's a floating ginger head.
Yeah, if we ever go hunting in the pine forest, I'm wearing this shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes right.
It's a good little decor for the time of season.
Yeah, well, it's it is the last episode we're going to do. So, in the lead up to Christmas, we thought we'd get a bit festive and park ourselves by the Christmas tree. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah. Next year, it needs to be a nativity scene, not a tree.
You haven't looked closely at the tree, Josh.
I haven't.
There's possibly not a nativity scene in there at all.
No, there's an advent calendar full of vodka.
Yeah, that's
Clearly you've got a favourite daughter because one's just got a crappy Cadbury advent calendar and the other one's a Kinder Surprise. And we all know Kinder Surprise is way better than Cadbury.
Neither of those are for my daughters.
Oh, dear.
One is mine, one is the missus.
Oh.
They were given to us.
Oh,
Did she
And
get
I've missed multiple days of
do you
mine.
need it?
Oh, my God. I will actually kick you out of my house.
No, I'm just asking, do you need it? Aren't you the Grinch? Well, what were you implying I was saying?
The fat shaming. Come on.
I did
No,
not.
no, there you go. You're trying to
did not.
gaslight me.
No, I did not.
There's some chocolate over there. Do you need it? That you've been eating. Do you need it?
You need your energies after that 5K run, all right, or 5K walk.
You basically just said you're fat. You shouldn't be eating, you should not be eating chocolate.
Yeah, Caleb, should you be sitting that close to the chocolate with your track record?
Come on. Move on. Anyway, what have you been up to this weekend, Josh? You were the only one of us who was actually able to go to the ADA, I believe.
Yeah, just burnt down for the Deer Education Program and then a meeting. So that was pretty cool. Didn't see much deer, so I think the choppers might be doing a fair job down that way. So
Did you run into any carcasses or were you on properties that probably didn't actually cull much?
nah, this property was culled. didn't see much in the way of like dead carcasses or anything actually. But it has been a significant amount of time between it being culled and, obviously going down there and checking the place out.
That's not to say they just hadn't moved them on to the next property, like the culling had just moved them on basically.
There'll be definitely some of that. And to be honest,
Farmers just cleaning up off for free meat.
to be honest, man, it's that thick down there, like that tea tree, and that thermals aren't working through that tea tree, the canopy of it. So they'll miss deer. They'll never eradicate the deer. They'll make them very sparse and few in numbers, but they won't eradicate it. That's a long bow that the state government's trying to draw.
So they should just cut it out.
With the educational day, or whatever it was, what was it? What was involved?
Counting deer.
Is that the only educational thing you did? Was count deer?
No, we were just looking at the habitat of deer. There's no counting involved.
Yeah, okay. I won't get
The cogs are turning.
No, it took me a second. Okay, all right. I thought that was actually an educational thing held for that meeting as well.
Oh, there was. It was it was an educational experience seeing how much devastation the choppers have done.
Okay, all right.
And then, just the meeting, which there wasn't really that much to share about the meeting, to be honest. It was just, there was a bit of history from, I think he was a founding member. I'm not entirely sure.
Fuck, so we're talking like a 70-year-old?
I don't want to speak unkindly to his age, but probably about 70.
A gentleman of the elder persuasion.
Yeah. So he just pretty much spoke about some of the history and the ADA had a deer pen, which they just pretty much bought a few deer and reared up some good bloodlines in the past. This is, going way back. I'm trying to say this carefully, to be honest. And now that's going to be no more. So,
Fair enough.
yeah.
So he was enlightening you about the things that were done in the past versus what's been going on now?
Yeah, basically.
Fair enough.
Basically, that was pretty much all there was. I did buy some raffle tickets and did not win a thing.
No bingo.
No bingo. None.
Bugger.
How boring. No new shiny thing for you.
No, none. Having said that,
It'd be quite selfish wanting free stuff, though, when other people are in more need.
I'm needy.
Very needy.
I needed, actually, there was a battery, like a car battery there. And I'm like, that's one of the prizes. And I'm like, I actually need a battery to rig up this gar fishing lights for the boat for getting out in the next few weeks. So I was quite keen. But that's all right. I'll just have to buy a battery.
Actually, I've got
I'm sure
one down the side of the house.
You do?
Yeah, my old car one. I don't know if it's got much charge to it, but give it a whack.
Try it.
Probably charge it up, to be honest.
Yeah, that might be worth a go.
Yeah, I haven't actually put a multimeter on it and measured the voltage on it. But
Do you have a trickle charger?
no, old man does though.
I've got a charger at home.
If we're just getting out on the boat, then might do the trick, man.
Yeah, I'll be keen.
Yeah, should be
actually.
right.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, just throw it over the edge.
Yeah, if
Oh,
it doesn't work, then you can deal with disposing it and then I don't have to pay for it.
All right, hard pass on that one. I'll just buy a battery. Having said that, I need another two people to come out on the boat with us, and I've only got one friend now, so the other one's just upped and left. So,
Where'd you go, Caleb?
He's disappeared.
oh, it's from our argument from the last podcast. He's just left. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not actually in the same room at the moment. No, we're all good. There was no bad blood from that episode. Josh and I have, as I said, much stronger debates outside of the podcast because we've known each other for so long. And it just,
You're acting like it was a full-on argument. It wasn't an argument.
It wasn't.
It was
Anyone who-
just resonating with your soul because you know you're living in sin and shame.
Oh, here we go. Right,
Yeah, I was an
fucking close the Bible. Let's move on. Actually, speaking of sinfulness, what was without dropping him in it? What the heck was going on? I saw some photos of a mate of ours from the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, mate, you mean an ex-host of this podcast?
All right, we'll drop him in it. What the fuck was Ryan doing?
Oh, bro. So I left sort of around 4 and I pulled into camp at about 8. And Ryan was just intoxicated, like blind drunk already. And I'm like, okay, this is just normal Ryan. Cool. So I pulled in, got out the chair, sat down, had a conversation with him. And I was talking to Steve as well. And we were talking about not conspiracy theories, but just current politics and, you know, the stuff that Ryan loves to talk about.
And Steve loves as well.
Conversation.
Yeah, and Steve.
So they were perpetuating each other.
Definitely. And I noticed that Ryan just wasn't getting up. Like he was just sitting in the chair and he wasn't sleeping, but he was fading away just ever so slightly as the minutes passed. Anyway.
It's normal for Ryan sober, though.
It is. So I didn't really think anything of it. And then Hayden and the boys have come down and sat down and we've started a bit of a group chat at this stage. And Ryan's just suddenly shot up, got out of his chair and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go throw up. And then he's tried to take a step forward and stumbled, almost fell onto Steve. He's taken a moment and then run over to the other side of like this tree line where we were all camped and then just, you know, dropped to all fours and that was pretty much all we heard for about 5 minutes. And then next thing you know, we just hear a small power spew and we're like, okay, that's fine. And then about 20 minutes go past and where's Ryan? Well, I don't know.
No one's checked on him.
I don't know where he is. Like, whatever. Anyway, we've heard another chunder. We're like, oh, there he is. Cool. Just let him go. Let him like catch his breath. Then like an hour later, we've gone and had a look at him like to see if he's okay, and he's passed out clean on the ground, man. I'm talking about out cold, snoring.
I've never passed out. Oh, I've once. All right, I've once when I was a lot younger. But
What?
other than that, I've never passed out drunk.
Yeah, it's because you don't let yourself get to that point.
Well,
You don't really go hard. You go steady, and you know you're in it for the long game.
strong and steady, yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
It's a way to play it.
yeah.
Says old red wine over there.
Yeah, well, red wine doesn't agree with me. So, well, we both agree. We just have too much fun.
Yeah, well, but do you know what's probably undone him is when you're sitting and drinking,
Mm-hmm.
you don't feel it, and then you get up and then you're like, whoa, it hits you. Something about just sitting and drinking can creep up on you. Whereas if you're standing and moving around, it's all right. You sort of feel how you feel consistently, but sitting,
I'd like to
it's dangerous.
dive in and find out why that is, though, because it's weird.
Your probably heart's not pumping
Blood
as much.
pressure.
No, it's just be like your heartbeat's obviously going to be sort of, you know, quite low sitting down. And as soon as you stand, your heart's got to work a little bit harder to get the blood flow through everything. So it's probably just that.
Yeah, I'd like
Literally.
to find out the actual reason behind all that.
I mean, do you want to have a quick
Yeah.
Google or?
Nah, not really.
It's a bit of a science question. I'm sure it's some layers to that one, but
Well, dead set, the heart thing.
Oh, fucking.
I'm going to Google it.
go on, someone. We got to find out what the hell was going on. Otherwise, we're just going to be waiting a week, and I need to know answers to these things. So, why do you not feel drunk when you're drinking sitting, and then it hits you when you stand up? It's got to be his blood flow thing, surely. Like heart rate slower. I'm going to assume it's that. It's not pumping around your system as much. Who knows?
I'm going to say it's that because it's not fucking working.
What a way to ruin your evening, though. Just be passed out drunk before the night's even begun. Standard, though. Anyway, shout out to the big man who really can't drink.
Shout out to the photos sent in the group chat.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing.
Thanks, boys. That was good.
Yeah, he was done.
Seeing Ryan, aka the Sasquatch, as he now goes by, the sassy Sasquatch. Yeah, he was sassy Sasquatch squatting. Having a spew. What have we come up with, boys? Have we got an answer to this question or what? Is this too scientific for our research abilities?
Just sifting through the.
Well, one sort of after a quick read. So alcohol affects the part of your brain, the fucking cerebellum.
Yep.
That controls your balance and core and coordination for walking. So sitting is actually easier. You don't have to actually rely on that a whole lot. So when you stand up, that's just when you notice the change in how much you need to concentrate on it.
I suppose. Because if you're sitting,
I don't
you're
feel
like
that's a full reason.
I mean, when you're sitting, you're sort of anchored. You're more stable. When you stand up, that's when you feel the sway going on. So I'm going to assume that's it.
Another one was saying it's just due to blood pressure drop when you stand up.
Because when you stand up too quickly and you get a bit of a woo. Yep. It'll all be to do with that.
So it might be a combination of the two.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wasn't that interesting?
Oh, bless you, Josh.
Lucky there was
Bless
a
you, my
break there and
son.
I was talking. We take that right out.
I ain't editing that shit out. So you can enjoy, for your listening pleasure, the sound of Josh sneezing.
It's a bit of ASMR.
I'm sure someone out there gets off on that, Josh, by the way. You've just tickled someone's pickle.
You are cooked through and through, eh?
I'm cooked?
No.
You
The dude who just ejaculated because you sneezed and just snippeted that bit and replayed it.
Your mind.
He's the guy that's cooked. My mind goes there, bro.
Make you know how people on YouTube that make a song or some sort of thing out of just the one noise? Someone needs to do that with Josh's sneeze.
Yeah, Cody,
Just loop it.
There you go. We're just giving you all the ammunition, mate. Ammunition, loop that sneeze, and then just have someone just jizzing.
DJ Cody.
Loop both of those sounds and you get something good.
He's a cook. Let's
Totally.
move on.
Bit of point of interest. Now we've had a bit of a ramble. There's been some new purchases. This is always good. Some new items. Couch, you want to go first because yours bigger than mine.
It is.
That's what she said.
I'm gonna go with this one as well.
Talking about his guts. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna go with this one. So there's a road mic for one. I'm gonna go into my other one as well.
Okay,
But
thank
hopefully
you.
I sound better. Hopefully it's better for everyone. And it's not as bad as the headset mic.
Boring.
Anyway, all right.
Give
Moving on.
us the full effect. Put it right up to your mouth and give us some ASMR. Country Victorian Couchy.
Hello. Oh, jeez. Look, it is a good mic, man.
Yeah, so wannabe. All right, so Mike's not interesting. So recently I just
No, go back to what you're doing. That was good.
No.
The weird ASMR thing. Do some more of that. Just more than just hello.
There you go. Another man's just jizzed in his pants.
Anyway.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't
That's
know
the
what
sound he's never heard before.
Is that your Hannibal Lecter impression?
it could be.
Doesn't he do that?
All right.
Pretty sure he does. Anyway,
Oh,
we're
no,
trying to
you're telling
railroad
the
you now, so go.
Yeah, you are right.
Puts the lotion on.
I'll let that happen until you guys run out of energy.
It's always going to be like because you insist on being in another fucking state. It's always going to be 2-1, mate. Suck
fine.
a dick. All right, go on.
I have more patience. That's right.
Talk to us.
So just bought a new D-Max.
Or
So-
the X-Trail, as you call it all the time.
X-Trails is fucking, it's X-Terrain. So the XT, I'll call it. But yeah, it's brand new 2023. Blaze Orange. Actually, Volcanic Orange, not Blaze Orange.
Yeah, Blaze Orange is hunting, mate.
Yeah, it's similar.
Could you imagine a Blaze Orange car? That'd be just.
I think I've seen one, man. Like a home
Do you reckon
job.
you'd be more? Yeah, but do you reckon you'll hit more deer in a Blaze Orange car? Because I just don't see you.
Ooh, maybe.
I don't know, but shout out to the guy I work with who calls them deers. I've had to educate him multiple times that plural deer is not deers.
Fishes.
I'm like, you don't say sheeps, bro, do you?
Gooses.
Nope.
It is a lovely car. And I've got to give it to
It is a
D-Max.
nice car.
Inside, it looks like a Lamborghini. is dripping with swagger.
I'm going to give it to Azuzu.
Yeah.
She's not too bad. I've had it for about a month, I reckon. Probably, about that. And I've driven it for 2 days.
Do you want to tell the story about how it came to your possession? You did a Couchy. You really did.
Oh, yeah. So, because I'm moving up here to Queensland, I'm not sure if I've actually made that public or not, but I will be moving up to Queensland after Christmas. So I was thinking, due to the fact I'm leaving my job, I've had a company car for the whole time of that. So I need a vehicle because I don't have one. So I thought I'd check with Isuzu for availability, and that was like October, just to sort of put the feelers out and see what's about. I walk into the dealer, have a chat to him, and there's one on the it was a white one, so it was a X-Train, but it was white, brand new. In there, and having a chat to him, I'm like, oh, what are the availabilities like for this? I'm hoping that since COVID, it's sort of settled down and they've actually got some stock. And he's like, well, this one's been sold, but the only one I've got is back in the corner there, and it's volcanic orange. And after looking and deciding what car I want, I'm like, volcanic orange does look pretty sweet, and I had my heart set on that one. So it worked out pretty well that I walked into the dealership and there was a car that had been cancelled by the cancel for it was an order that was cancelled.
Say that again. Cancel order.
I walked myself into a circle there.
You did.
So they cancelled the order, and it happened to be the just exact car that I wanted. And it was 2 days prior that they cancelled it. So I put a deposit down then and there.
And had a volcanic eruption.
Yes, because it was like a 6 to 7 month wait. Otherwise, if I waited for a brand new one, well, this was brand new. It had 17 Ks on it, so same. But yeah, I got very lucky.
Yeah, you did. You did. At least you didn't have to wait 2 years. And then change.
Well, you're still waiting.
I mean, that's dead in the water now, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's not happening. 79 is not happening.
Yeah.
I've been watching a few.
The caravan's not happening.
The caravan's happening, but the 79.
That was all a ruse, just to get everyone.
Well, the van's back on the table.
It never left the table.
I thought it was
It
off.
just.
It
we're
never
not getting
reached
a
the
Lotus.
Far out.
What are you getting? Just a.
We're gonna halve our budget.
So not a Lotus.
No.
You're gonna get one of those bubble ones that like the size of a car and kind of look like those bubble cars.
Nah, because of some health stuff in the family, I need aircon and a shower, essentially. So anything with that, basically, as long as it's got those two things, we'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm assuming the Lotus had those
It did, but
for twice the price.
yeah. So
Fair enough.
Anyway, well, I'm still on my topic of my D-Max. By the
All right,
way.
let him have his
Before you
moment of
continue
glory.
railroading
Crying.
me. Fuck.
did it.
So, actually, I haven't seen it in person yet, but Josh has. He just picked it up today. But
No, I didn't
chucked
pick
on
up anything of yours today, man. I picked up my new car today. Sick.
you can have it until December, end of December. Hammer bull bar. So a Hammer King Series bull bar that's been powder coated across the bumper to volcanic orange as well. And from the photos, I'll chuck them up on Senate Mate once this gets released, if anyone's interested. But yeah, she look. Everyone's like, why do we want to see your car, man?
Whoa.
But I'm pretty excited.
Message
so.
privately, we'll send them to you. How's that?
Nah, I'm going to put it up.
It'll be the same guy.
Just scrub out your plate and just stick them up.
What?
Scrub out your
Number plate.
plate and then just stick them up.
Yeah. Well, these photos I got are scrubbed out because they got the people that chuck the bull bar on, they've got their little plate over top.
Ah, okay.
So they can advertise without having someone's rego.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So,
Look,
I'm happy.
the only thing that I find frustrating is the newer you get, you obviously get a whole heap of electronic features, and driving it back today, like I hit 60 and like going like 2Ks over, it's like ding, ding.
Yeah, you zone that shit out.
I'm like, man, like why is that necessary?
That's why you
You can
crank
turn them
the
all up, I'm
tunes.
pretty sure. Yeah, you can turn them off, but you got to get in the settings and do it. And I don't think about that stuff when because our work vehicles do the same thing.
Mhm.
And I don't think about it until I'm driving. But you can't actually turn the settings off while you're driving. You got to park and put it in park, and then you can do it.
Okay.
Each time I stop, that just voids my mind of doing it. So, and then I'll drive again. I'm like, fuck, really got to do that. Still haven't done it, but I will be with that car. I will be disengaging the seatbelts, disengaging everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's too many beeps going on. The only one I haven't turned off on mine is the bloody going over the speed limit one, which isn't such a bad thing.
For you, definitely.
You don't listen to it anyway.
Well, and if your music's loud enough, you don't hear it anyway, so whatever. It's only when you're listening to a podcast and you get a ding, that's when it's annoying.
Yeah. I'm going to change your message tone to the same ding as the speed ding. So therefore, each time you go over the speed limit, you think that you got a message.
You can try. Give it a crack.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you're going to do to the ute, man?
Oh, heaps. So obviously I just tucked the bull bar on it. So natural thing would be snorkel. I want to do tray canopy because, go figure, you can't actually buy X-Terrain in a cab chassis without the cab chassis with that tub. They don't do that. So I guess part of the X-Terrain is the fact of how the rear end's built up as well.
Mm-hmm.
But they just don't give the option, and you have to go on the model down to get your cab chassis. Because originally I was like, I'll just buy a cab chassis, chuck a tray on it straight away from someone in Adelaide because I knew it was going to be sitting there for a bit. But yeah, so tray, a removable canopy because I want the option.
Ooh. Now you're talking some coin, bro.
It is coin, but then it'd be less coin because it won't be like a 15 to 16 litre per 100 like Josh's.
So you get your return on investment over time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm looking
You spend 40 grand on a
to?
canopy that'll sit in your backyard for 9 months of the year.
I want to lift it because otherwise just shit gets in it.
Well, you'd have to get an upgrade anyway, GDM upgrade, if you're going to run a canopy.
No, because it's D-Max, not Toyota.
No, you still need to.
That's fine.
At least get you with your shocks and your coils. That'll upgrade anyway if you get that done.
Yeah, so lift kits on the cards as well. Just the basics, really. So, yeah, tray, canopy, lift kit, rack.
You know what I'm looking forward to. Just quickly,
He's talking to me.
I'm going to interject.
Go.
Because so far on all of our adventures, it's been either your car or my car, personally owned, that we have used.
Yes.
So aren't you looking forward to making up someone else's car on a 10-day hunt and you're all just like haven't showered for 2 weeks?
Joke's on you, Josh. Joke's on you because I've moved out of the state.
I will fly just to do that. I'll fly to Brisbane just to do that.
We're coming to you to use your vehicle.
Well, I took my vehicle plenty of times. Stratford. Taken mine plenty of times because I had the lockable tub.
I don't remember this.
Neither do I.
Okay.
2 to 1, mate.
I don't remember
Didn't
this.
count.
I don't remember this at all.
I mean, there was a time when about 4 people
for you
had.
guys to come up here.
There was a time when about 4 people in our group had like Navaras.
Yeah.
So it was maybe a bit confusing for you. Probably wasn't yours.
No, for you. For you it was. Because you're like, I don't have a Navara. But yeah. Navaras were good though. I rated those.
For the price.
Until they hit 320,000 and they blew up. Yep.
Yours was auto, wasn't it?
Manual.
Was it?
The new one's auto.
No, your old Navara I'm talking about.
Manual.
Was it?
Yeah.
Why do I think it was auto?
I don't know. Because your memory's shit. You didn't realize I took it on the trip.
Nah, it was never there.
So
bro.
you can't just null and void your opinion.
It was never there.
It was.
I'm struggling to remember taking
Because I drove there to Stratford. It was what, 1,100, 1,000 Ks from Adelaide. And I would have made it there. Probably would have rolled in, but I would have made it on a tank.
I reckon this was a trip he came after everyone, but I didn't think that was a trip you came.
No, that
on.
was Aaron.
I didn't come after everyone. I usually first. But
There's been a few trips where someone's met us up like halfway through, like Aaron once, Sturny once. Shit, I don't know. Whatever. We're digressing into boring territory here.
It was a while ago. It was, if it's not us three, then you don't give a shit.
Upwards and onwards. You've got a new D-Max, mate. It looks good. It looks the part. You've got some more upgrades to spend money on.
Would you get a winch? Because I noticed you've got a winch spot for your...
Yeah, I made sure that the bar was compatible.
Yeah.
A winch is going to be on the cards. It's maybe not a huge rush.
Man, I'll be putting that on before the canopy because then if we get in a pickle in the high country again, we got a winch.
I'm not taking off road.
The winch came.
You're not taking... Oh, it's going to be one of those. Utes. Okay, we get it.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You may as well not do any of those things if you're not going to take it off road. Stop trying to repair that paint job, though.
Oh.
Yeah, no. What's that stuff you chuck on the magnetic
Raptor
armor? That magnetic armor you chuck on the side of your car?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I can't remember the brand.
That stuff.
Yeah.
Should get some of them. I think they're $1,000 for 4 panels that cover 60% of your vehicle.
Fair enough. What about all the chips and scrapes in your new bull bar?
Oh,
it's gonna hurt.
The tripod dents on the roof.
Done it. No, that's where you get a rack. That's where you get a rack, man. Roof rack.
Roof rack?
And that's why you have a removable canopy, so you can still do that.
Yeah, I agree with you there, man. That's going to be expensive, though.
You looked at roof rack yet?
I haven't looked at a roof rack, no. You got a suggestion?
Rhino.
Well, yeah, Rhino. You're just going to go Rhino or Yakima, man, so I'd go Rhino.
It just sounded like you had,
No, I'm asking because you have talked to me briefly about some driving lights for the front of it. So whether you're going to go for a light bar
I'm thinking
lights.
spotties and a bar maybe up top.
That's the good combo.
Yeah, it is.
Driving lights. You've got a spot.
It looks clean.
You've got mounts for or places for mounting them on the front of your bull bar. So,
well, a bar could also go through that slot as well.
You could. That's a popular option. Maybe.
But then your spotties, and you can have 4 spotties up top.
Ooh.
And then I'm overdone for SA. No, Queensland.
Just go 2 driving lights on your bull bar and whack a light bar up top underneath your roof rack.
So you can only have a certain amount of lights on your car.
Well, Queensland's 4 front facing.
Forward facing,
Right.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what size lights they are, they class as 1 light. So if you had 4 little ones, it's the same as 4 of like whatever size.
So you got your driving lights and then your fog lights.
Your headlights don't count.
Your normal headlights don't
count. Your factory, it's additional lights.
Okay. Yeah, that's a bit
I'm
crap.
not sure how strict they are up here. I'll have to keep an eye out on vehicles around.
Look, you see plenty of people with like a Baja type setup and they've got like six lights going up on the top.
Yeah.
So
that'd be sick.
It's one of those probably bullshit laws that the cops are like, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're a dick, then I'll do you for it. But if you're not, then whatever.
Yes, proceed with caution. But I reckon a pair of driving lights and a bar up underneath your roof rack. Good combo.
That'll be a go. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And your side lights and your work lights and that.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have to get some side lights for camping and just, they always come in handy. As the weekend where we went shooting just recently, they come in handy as well.
They did. Would you do a shower setup in your canopy? Well, obviously you're going to have a water tank. Would you?
Caravan's probably the next thing.
Caravan?
Yeah.
There's 2 out of the 3.
I don't want to tow anything.
Yeah, because you can't drive, mate. So...
Because you don't have a D-Max.
Can out-drive both of you.
Mate, as soon as you tow something, you're breaking stuff immediately. Every time you go out.
Is nothing or everything. Doesn't matter if you're on or off road. You're scaring me on the high country.
I just sent it, mate. That's what I do. Anyway, by the way, let's go for a go-kart when you're down next, Couchy. How long are you here for?
So I'll be down on the 22nd at that night.
Well,
I want to get to Horsham by Christmas, but I'll be able to do something on the 23rd.
Don't we have a dinner on the 23rd?
Yes, we've got dinner together on the 23rd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't try and wheeze out of it. You're not busy.
I'm busy on the 23rd during the day.
I'm busy on the 22nd evening.
So am I.
You can do whatever you want.
Funnily enough.
Yes. High 5, bro 5.
What about What about the 24th?
It's a very small group of people that know what
Nothing's
the
going to
fuck
be
we're
open.
about.
Nothing's going to be open. I didn't even hear because it broke up as you did it.
So the Sunday is out. You're going to be on the road, eh? The 24th.
I'm planning to, but I don't know. Things might change. I might have more time after Christmas than I originally planned. So hopefully. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Who knows? It depends on whether anything's open over that time as well.
Exactly. Nothing can be open.
Either way, at some point I challenge you to a go-kart session that
I'll be leaning up that week. Dropping a
pretty sure
few
we've already-
kegs.
Do you know what? The weight isn't actually that much of a factor. It affects you on the straights. Like, I think the guys...
Yes, you're right. You get...
I get better cornering because I've got
Corner.
better center of gravity. Like, I'm more stable around the corners.
But that's where you've just got to learn to drive, bro.
So on windy tracks, it's actually better to have a bit more weight. Whereas the guy told me you lose 1/10 of a second for every 10 kilos.
Oh, it's nothing.
You are.
Mate,
Especially in the
So
way
I'm-
we race, 1/10 of a second is not much.
that's a win or a lose. So,
Josh,
whatever way you look at it.
take your foot off the pedal when you're going around the corner. And
Oh.
you're going to slide into the wall.
Right. And Caleb knows this. He's just not willing to verbally say it on a public forum. I'm pretty good on the go-kart. And regardless of what it is, it always comes down to 3 people at the end in the past. And that was Caleb and I and his brother.
I've got the
pretty sure
I've got
you
the
went
lap
in the top
times.
three last
I've
time
got
we
the lap
went.
times and the finishing positions on my phone. I photographed it.
Get it up.
You better pad while I'm doing this.
You better
No, you're
what?
padding too.
Pad.
Pad.
How long have we been
Pad, like, do stuff.
podcasting for?
Pad? When
Build
have you
space,
ever
build
used
space.
pad?
You pad for time. Like you just talk while I do something.
Pad for time.
And let's continue on with the new things. Has anyone else? Josh, have you got any new things?
Have you heard of Vamp before?
No, I haven't. Vamp.
That's another one.
Caleb Lingo.
Oh, go-karting. Here we go.
There we go. This didn't take long.
Oh, I swear I took photos of the
Still going.
sign.
I'm pretty sure I remember you posting it maybe in the chat just by memory, but that was a while ago. So don't trust that.
See, Shano. Was that you?
Yeah, man. I was second,
Yeah.
wasn't I?
Oh, you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
Were you there?
It's like when I go by. Yeah, I was there. You didn't see me because I was up front.
Actually, I think I do remember you
I'm
now.
pretty sure Elijah beat me and I'll come second.
Yeah. So one race, my brother, then you, then Josh, then me. Another race, my brother, my other brother. No, that was reverse grid. I need to interpret these results better.
Because I've won on one of them.
I mean, according to this one, it was my brother, Couchy, then me, and then
He's gone.
you were fourth.
He's scrolling through multiple photos, and none of them are.
These are multiple races. There's a qualifying session. There's a race, another race.
Just 3 races.
Let's settle this. Let's just go
That
karting.
wasn't the most recent one anyway. There's another
Winner-
one where I took photos of the leaderboard.
Winner takes Couchy's brand new D-Max. Let's, gentlemen in court. Done.
Sounds good to me.
Done. There's 2 yeses.
Utter bullshit.
Well, no, put your money where your mouth is, man. You're that good at driving. Let's do it.
There's nothing new.
I'll put money on it. I'll put money on it.
No, your car.
No.
No, your car.
Let's put cash.
No,
Let's put
your
cash.
car. All right, the value of your car.
Let's make it 2 pineapples each. Down there.
2 pineapples, a crisp hundo.
Double hundo. Oh, actually,
Double hundo.
Pineapples are 50.
Pineapples.
Crikey. Getting ahead
Pineapples
of
are 50.
myself.
So let's do. No, I was on the green as well. So let's.
I don't. I don't look at cash often enough to actually remember.
No, don't. I said pineapples and I was thinking green. Whatever you call those things, I don't see.
Open the fridge. Have a look.
Josh, have you forgotten? Josh is just having another conversation as we talk.
A little bit of a thank you.
You see that? It's called a mute button, my friend.
No, that's all right.
I love it, Josh.
That's from me. No one
Try,
else.
but
Little
he
thanks.
tries to like
It's
put
all
his
right,
hand
Josh.
over the
Just
mic,
keep
stop
going.
him
Just
getting
roll
hurt.
it.
Makes more noise.
All right, Chris Pundo, let's do it. And then after, we'll play some poker. And we'll do a
200.
buy-in, $20 buy-in.
Done. That sounds like a perfect night.
Put my
does.
gun on the table.
Can we do?
Put your money where your mouth is. Hundo on your gun.
I'm going to do poker on the 23rd.
Oh, you said you wanted it to be more of a game tonight, so
Yeah, poker's a game.
Yeah, but other girls gonna
strip.
other girls gonna be wanting to play poker.
I don't know. Sure. If they don't, they can go outside and play.
No, we'll go outside because then we can have stogies as well. Because you got to have a nice stogie.
I'm not having a stogie.
That's because you're a wimp.
No, we're playing indoors, Josh.
Wimpy. No. Sip a cup.
Anyway, speaking.
What are
of,
we talking about?
we're talking about
New things.
I don't know what.
New things.
Yeah, I was trying to make a segue.
Yeah,
I bought a gun. I bought the CZ 600 Trail finally, which I've said I've been gonna get for so long. I got it.
How long have you had it?
Nice.
2 weeks.
Have you shot it?
Have you actually got it?
Yeah, physically in my possession.
Can we go you run away and grab it?
You want me to go and get it?
Hey bro, on all fours, like we can see you.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. Good thing we're not live streaming because you just had the most awkward partially off mic conversation.
Remember the COVID? She or he, it was a doctor or something, had a meeting in his office. Her office. No, it's him. And then the kid comes into the room.
That's right. And then the nanny chases after it.
The nanny crawls in and chases after the kid.
Yeah.
That reminded me of that.
Yeah. Well, for anyone who's just listening, which will be everyone, because we are filming it, but we probably won't do a clip of that bit. Someone just walks
Maybe.
Maybe. No, there's a strong no from the background here, so it ain't happening.
Oh, definitely doing it.
Fair enough. Yes. So anyway, I've got the CZ 600. I've had it. I put the PTA in, and 5 days later it was approved, which was nice. This is South Australia. Sorry for everyone in Victoria who's currently waiting 28 days plus.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And for New South Wales. Sorry, WA.
You haven't used it yet, have you?
No, I haven't used it because I haven't put an optic on it yet. So that'll be the next thing.
What are you gonna pop on it?
I'm in two minds. So originally I was thinking like 1 to 8 power.
I think you need more than that.
But that was for my sort of original intentions of use. So I might switch it up, try a few things.
Given your track record, Caleb, you need to make the target as big as possible.
I don't think that's helping him. I don't think you can get much bigger.
I mean,
No,
look,
that wasn't.
the 16 power was fine for shooting the moose, so that's all good.
True.
I'll just keep bringing it back to that, bro.
When you poached it.
Well, you're dancing around the topic. What's the thing that you're going to trial?
Trial?
You said you might change it up.
It's a trail, not a trial.
Yeah, it's a trail.
Trial.
A trail.
Well, I might go 4 to 16 again. I might go 5 to 25. I might go 2.5 to 20 power.
Okay.
So then I'm sort of leaning towards 2.5 to 20.
Yeah, go that.
So you're not talking about a red dot.
I was thinking that way originally, but no, I reckon I'll end up going 2.5 to 20. So then I can still zoom right out for close-up stuff. If I start getting into scenarios where I am going real close, then I might whack a red dot like on an angle.
Why don't you try with your scope putting QD mounts, like a spur mount or a single piece mount with quick detachable, and then having a red dot, and then you can bounce between the two. Just mark your rail on where you.
Oh, just have a canted dot. Just be done with it.
Yeah, I dare say it'll be canted dot, but the only thing I have to look into is how it's going to work with the bolt handle. Because it's quite a pronounced.
You got to have it on your forward mount, because you can get the ring mounts that actually have the canted piece that hangs off the side, and you have that on your front ring and it's away from your bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to be right up near your red dot.
Yeah. I just need to
Problem
check all
solved.
that out and, like, obviously find the right placement for it and all that.
Just do it.
Yeah, I reckon I'll probably do it. And then I've got that option for all close-up stuff because, let's be honest, like, it's a 2-2-3, so it's perfect for foxing. But it's going to be a lot of fun for just target shooting as well. And then who knows what else we're going to get into with it. So,
And I feel like that you would have missed the power. You know how when you're all three of us lying down with a rifle and you're shooting, and then there's always someone that's got, like, generally Josh, he's got like 200 power on his scope. And you're like, it's a great spotting scope, but then you got someone that's got nothing on their scope and they can't see shit.
yeah.
Where Josh could see exactly where you hit that paper or exactly where you hit that gong, but then someone's like, I could see you hit it, but I have no idea where.
I mean, realistically, I'm probably not going to shoot it past 300. Realistically. But it'll be nice if we do start doing some, like, funky target shooting to just have the power. Like, as Josh says, it's better to have it and not need it than need it not have it. The only detracting thing there is the weight. I don't want it to weigh a lot because it's very light as it is. If anyone who doesn't know, have a look at the CZ600 trail. It's got a telescopic scope. So basically you press a button, two rails come back, and there's a very small cheek piece, cuts down the weight.
Telescopic scope.
Telecoptic.
Telescopic stock is what I meant to say.
That's better.
I think I was
Telescopic
mixing
stock.
telescope and scope
Telescopic.
and telescopic all in. Thank you for correcting me, Josh, because I would have kept ploughing ahead and looked like an absolute arse.
I missed it, but yeah.
I knew you'd latch on an opportunity to correct me. But yeah, a telescopic stock, which is it's a very lightweight setup.
You could, if you had the money to, you could do a QD mount as well and have your range sort of scope and then your hunting scope, and it's just like quick detach. That would be an ideal world. That'd be handy. But yeah, not all of us got shitloads of money for it.
True.
Yeah, look, I kind of agree with you there because say you're out hunting even like Victoria and, well, for argument's sake, it's going to be private land because you'll be using a 223.
Correct.
You know, you go through that thick bracken and all that, you can whack your red dot on, you know, shots out at 50, you're good. And then you move through and you're coming to a bit of an open spot that you want to glass, you can, you know, rip your scope on and you've got that advantage then.
Yeah, I was more talking about setting it up before you go on your hunt, but yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah, I mean, like fit for purpose. I mean, yeah, you could either do it or set it up for whichever way you're going to hunt. Being a 223, I mean, you're going to cross obviously between goats, pigs, foxes, roos, deer, you know, so you've got a plethora of sort of species that live in different habitat. May cross
good for the southern part of Australia. You're pretty much good for hunting.
Yeah.
33, really.
Yeah.
If you're not following the Victorian standard.
Caliber restrictions, minimum calibers.
It's a load of BS, but yeah.
Anyway, I play by the rules most of the time. But yeah, certainly it's going to be fun. It's actually really nice to play with. I knew you'd snigger. I've got to adjust the trigger, actually. It's got a quick, like, there's like a little dial underneath, which you can adjust with a little Allen key. So
nice.
You can actually change the trigger pressure. I think I've got it on, it comes out of the box on the second setting, so I can go lower, go one lower.
Right.
I can't remember the poundage.
What's your first thoughts after grabbing it, holding it, playing with it, cycling the bolt?
I mean, I was about 12
like-
at that stage. I'm like, this is fun, and something comes out the end.
The time when you
Must be why I
rub
like
your
guns
thumb on
too.
the end of that knob. No, but what's your first thoughts on it? Just without a scope, obviously you can't shoot it. So don't say light because it hasn't got a scope. What's your first thoughts?
I mean, obviously I had a fair play with it in that. This will just sound like innuendo. I tried it out at the gun shop a fair bit before I actually took it into my possession without firing. I still haven't fired the thing yet. So that's going to be the real test. But just manipulating the bolt. In all honesty, if I'm going to be absolutely upfront with you, it was a surprise to me because I'm so used to how slick the action is on the ticker. Like it's super smooth. Like you run that bolt and it is like glass, just back and forth. So to then run that CZ, you're like, well, this isn't as smooth, but it's pretty nice still.
It's still a nice bolt, but it's not. Yeah, it's not refined.
Yeah.
But you could get that polished.
So
Or you can get the action polish.
It'll slick up with use.
it does have an odd thing on it, right? Because when you close the bolt, I don't know whether it's a floating bolt head or what, but it sort of has a little bit of pressure and there's obviously pushing against a spring. And then when you cycle the bolt, it sort of bounces back a little bit. Have you found that? If you got it out now and had a look, I can guarantee you'd be like, oh, okay, I'll get it. It's very odd. I don't know if it's a locking, like the way they've sort of timed it to lock or what, or whether it's a spring assisted, feature or something like that. I don't know.
I can't remember the name of it, but when you pull you probably know the name of it. When you pull the bolt all the way back, the round doesn't actually eject till you get right to the
control round.
Yeah.
Feed, but
is that anything to do with it?
Nah, not at all. So essentially, all that is that they open up the face of the bolt, like on the bottom, and it just pretty much pops up into your ejection claw as you're pushing that round forward. But this is slightly different, and I reckon if you got it out now and cycled, you'd be like, oh, yeah, there is. There's like a little bit of a spring in it.
I mean, I could go get it now and hold it up and play with it.
I've got a wee. So
but you two have to actually keep this podcast going.
I've got a wee.
If he needs to go to the toilet, then I'm not just going to sit here and crap on by myself.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, we'll pause it then, and then we'll return with a gun in hand.
Cool. Got one right now.
Don't be crass, Josh.
This is my rifle. This is my gun.
This is something we haven't recorded at all of an hour.
Josh likes a finger up his bum.
Kevin,
what?
we haven't recorded this video.
What do you mean? Oh, you're joking. Can we just pause and then we'll come back? And we're back. And I have a rifle in my hand.
Okay, so that's different.
Rifle.
That feels different from the action that
Is in the gun shop.
Yeah, is in the shop.
Weird. It shouldn't feel any different, really, but
that's a heap smoother.
Like, now that you mention it, I didn't really pay much attention to that, but and that action had probably been worked more than mine at that point.
Definitely.
But that's pretty good.
I do wonder what it is. There's no spring in that action, actually. It's sort of weird.
I might have to clip that and make it my message tone, just that action. That'd be a good message tone.
Look, she's dry. Like, there's no oil in there at all, by the way.
Going and dry.
Look, for a spotlighting rig, that thing would be sick, especially if you could cut that barrel down to 16, which you can.
It's a nice looking rifle for sure.
It looks,
and I don't know why I think CZ Trail. Well, I think there's other version of CZ Trail is that thumb hole stock one. Hey,
yeah, the Ergo. That's the green one.
Yeah, I keep thinking of that when I think CZ Trail. Maybe bring that out or showed me last time. I'm surprised by it.
Yep. So, I mean, I love this
nice
thing.
looking rifle.
It is. It looks nice. Full Picatinny rail along the top. The mags are all AR compatible, so you can switch them out to whatever you want. You can switch up the grip as well. I actually really like the grip it comes with. And then obviously,
the swole grip.
The stock extends like that. And that's the cheek piece, which surprisingly is comfortable, even given how small it is. I actually
see how it goes with your head.
Obviously, we'll see what it's going to be like when I put a scope on it, but I actually like it on the first setting back. But it doesn't lock in on every setting backwards. So obviously, to be able to fully extend it out, there's the first setting. So it locks that way when you're pressing into your shoulder, but it still will move backwards. Second one, locks that way, but you can still move backwards. And then it locks out completely both ways on the last one because my arms are a
Can't
bit...
go any further. It still locks the same way. It just can't go back any further.
Yeah, well, it can't.
Reach the end.
Yeah.
If it could go back, it probably would.
So I don't know if I'm going to run into any dramas because, I mean, without a scope, it feels most comfortable, that setting, which can still move back. But...
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, yeah. Let's get it scoped and find
Whatevs.
out what it's like.
Looking at it right now, man, just when you're zeroing it, you might have a little bit of difficult with that stock on a bag. Like you almost need a bag rider, like a little spur.
Does that
So
put pressure underneath the rear of the stock, like the butt, the fucking
the butt fucking what?
Does it
Shoulder it.
want to lift? Does it want to bend? Does it want to?
No, not at all. It's stable as, man.
Upwards.
So when you actually shoulder it, it's actually...
It just seems like visually it looks like it wants to flex.
It really doesn't. Like when you load it up into your shoulder, it doesn't move, man. So obviously I haven't tried it firing it, but I've watched plenty of reviews and guys are like, when you're actually firing it, it doesn't. Yes, there's a little compartment inside the pistol grip, which Josh is now fingering.
You're fingering your rifle.
You got to push it in pretty hard. Don't break my gun, bro. Come on.
Don't pop the cherry.
It's all right. I just know where he's going with this because I did the same thing. It does go back in. Don't break it. Oh, my God.
Is it a puzzle? That was hard.
Yeah, right.
Say I got sausage fingers.
I'll
Anyway, I'll cycle that bolt. It is pretty nice.
It is.
What a lot of people talk about doing is like keeping your hand on the bolt and then shooting with that finger.
Yeah, your middle finger. I've seen that a few times with that on YouTube. A few people doing that and just cycling quickly.
So we'll see how we go, but I think it's just going to be good fun, to be honest.
to be honest, that'd be
2D3 is
mad.
great fun.
Like, do you think about that? Like, having that platform and you're shrinking it down, putting it in your pack. You know, it's just going to fit. Like,
It would.
it'd just fit inside your pack.
Like, look how small that is. It wouldn't.
With a scope on it, it's going to be square.
Yeah.
It would be not far off square.
There's one really good review video that I've watched, and they do multiple loadouts, like for different scenarios, but it's all in German, so I don't know what the fuck he's saying. I'll have to find it and just translate the whole thing. But yeah, so that's one you purchase.
Cut it down.
They'll invent a foldable barrel one day. They'll have a hinge on the middle of the barrel and you just fold it back.
They already have one of those AR. There's an AR in the States that it folds in three, so the stock folds over and the barrel folds back on itself.
Oh, the barrel in one hit. I was thinking like barrel halfway. There'd be some.
Yeah, but I mean, like in the States, you've got a 12-inch barrel or less.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, true.
Like, I haven't even fired the thing yet, and I'm already in love with it. So
Now,
see how we go.
You've got a blood.
And then it won't group, and I'll be like, fuck this thing. But no, I'm sure I'll do all right.
You'll be fine. Just don't aim at anything live and you'll hit your target.
Anyway, I'll put that inside, and we should probably move on because we've waffled for a while now.
We have waffled.
But, you know,
And
we haven't done a topic breakdown for a while. It is the festive season, or leading into. So we've decided to go with
Just pop it on the ground for you.
Rudolph. I'll do what I want, mate. It's my gun. Rudolph in the Crosshairs is our topic breakdown. And something we probably didn't work out was the order we're going to break down. So who wants to go first?
Well, I don't really have
Josh,
much,
Go first.
so
Get it over and done with.
Hit us with your meager offerings.
look, this is all I got. I was perplexed as to what to talk about, and I was Googling Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer and everything, and the only thing that I really found, or I could think of, was how the Inuits hunt caribou. Now, obviously, reindeer, caribou. And they hunt typically caribou a little different to the way we hunt it these days with bow or rifle and this and that. the way they do it is they'll actually wait for the caribou to come down to a river and start swimming across the river. And then they launch their canoes out and they'll chase down the caribou and spear them with a harpoon. And it's like a harpoon that's got like a head that detaches. So it's like tied to a rope, tethered to a rope or whatever.
Yep.
And, they'll kill them that way in the water, just with a harpoon. And that's basically all I've got. That's the only thing I could come up with.
When you're in that environment, you want to maximize your chances of getting food.
Efficiency is key.
The most vulnerable. Yeah, the most vulnerable point for them is swimming.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
It makes sense.
And they typically have like a fairly good success rate because I think there's 2 herds essentially of caribou. I can't remember where they are, but like 2 main herds. And so when the caribou start coming across, like you see 1 or 2, you know that the main herd's following them, and they will come through at obviously different times, but it's all one herd. So it's obviously a very effective way for them to gather food, especially in the freezing cold temperatures, and they're running out of time as well, coming into winter or whatever. So yeah, I just found that weird, and it was funny that I mentioned this because I've been watching not Frozen, where
Disney movies already, mate. Wow.
Life Below Zero, because there's a few new seasons and they've got a whole new revamp of it, and that chick that's like in that refueling station that she owns, like way far out. In the latest episode, and I'm behind a few, but the latest episode that I've been watching, she goes out and the caribou migration started, and she ended up getting followed by a grizzly that come into her camp, and she's been attacked by a grizzly a few times, so she sort of bit like wigging out about this bear. But that's fair enough. But yeah, that's all I've got. I really, yeah.
Fair enough, mate. It's a good show and tell.
It is. You're going to spin this some ridiculous way, aren't you?
Me? No. No,
I'll go next because I feel like Caleb's got a bigger one than me.
Touche, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, feelings can be wrong. So
reality.
I went Rudolph in the Crosshairs. So I went the perception of shooting Rudolph. So how the public perceive animals or idolizing animals as a certain like cartoon or perspective that we have on it. So, like the Cecil the Lion thing, like he was a lion that was idolized for his look and how the size of he was. But end of the day, he's a lion. And the uproar that the public had due to the fact that the hunter shot him legally.
True.
Kind of.
People Disneyfy animals.
Oh, empathy is rife.
Empathy is rife.
I sort of wanted to dive into that subject. So,
I mean, empathy is not a bad thing, but
empathy towards animals is rife these days. We've made them.
But it's not.
Couchy's right. We've made them become cartoon characters and essentially more valuable than people. I mean, look at that that Sheila. That's like a vegan activist in Australia. Like she's like full spec, just
vegan booty.
Like I don't know. I've seen her argue with that like Couchy, farmer. Like in an interview, like it's a full proper interview.
Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was vegan booty. But.
She's like, I'm wearing vegan leather. No animals have died for this belt. And he's like, well, bruh, you're actually destroying the ozone layer with your carbons making that belt. Because for every 500 grams of like artificial leather, it's the same as you're driving a car 2,000 kilometres. That's how much sort of like energy it takes to make that 500 grams of belt.
You really put it in a place, eh?
Yeah, he does. He does an exceptional job. But I mean, like that's what I mean. Empathy is rough. Like it's an animal. We are here to lord over those animals.
But it's weird how the empathy happens for only a select group of animals. So fair enough if you want to, live about your life, not wanting to injure or harm, willingly, these sort of animals. But would you think that a life is a life regardless of what animal it was, or you want to push it down to insects as well? Insects, creatures,
Plants. Then the new fads. Plants have feelings.
maybe not plants, but
You sound like an old man.
but I feel like that they sort of only
Fandangle
choose
thing.
what sort of animals they want to give a shit about, and I feel like that's more toxic than what they perceive us as doing. Is
Yeah, people
hunting
pick and choose.
an animal. Yeah, so we at least we know as hunters we do respect the animal, and a lot of hunters actually probably love them animals more than vegans and vegetarians and all.
And
those
probably know more about
activists.
them as well. So
Exactly.
I think the problem is quite a disconnect for the average Joe. The majority of people out there, go back a couple hundred years, most people would have had to do some sort of hunting for their own food. So the concept of killing an animal, butchering it yourself isn't that foreign, or wasn't that foreign. Whereas now it's been sanitized and we're far removed from it. And you just go to the supermarket and you grab a packet of meat from the shelf.
Yeah, disconnected. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having feelings and feeling sorry for something and a live creature and this and that. I'm going to bring this story up actually. So on the weekend, on the way back from southeast, driving along, noticed in the distance there's a caravan pulled over on the side of the road, and I thought, I'll stop and see if he's all right. And as the closer I got and it sort of like come around the bend, I realised that there was a guy on the road and an animal had been hit, and he was trying to, I think he was a little bit nervous about touching it, but he was trying to get it off the road because it was still alive.
Plow straight through it with your brakes.
Yeah, I thought about that. Just like, I'll do the job for you, mate.
Finish her off for you.
But anyway, I pulled up and I'm like, you need a hand, mate. And he's like, yeah, I just want to get it off the road and deal with it. I'm like, that's all right. I've got it. So I looked in the back of my car because I didn't have a rifle or anything like that. Not that I would have used it there, but I'm like, I don't even have a knife. But I pulled out my tools and I pulled out my forging hammer. And I'm like, okay, this is the only way it's going to be able to be done.
No, you had a knife there. You had a knife and you saw your hammer, then knife. And you're like, not the knife today. It's your hammer.
I had a paring knife for the soles of like hooves.
Yeah,
but that wouldn't have done it. Anyway, I've dragged it off the side of the road, and I left the hammer on the back of my tailgate. He's grabbed it and come over, and I've dragged this thing off the side of the road.
What was it? Did we say what it was?
I don't know if I want to.
Do we want to say what it was? Okay.
I don't know if I want to. But
I have a feeling I know what it is.
let's just say there's shock absorbers, a brand of suspension that have the name of the animal in it.
Okay.
Go on. Follow the bouncing ball.
Anyway, I dragged it off the side of the road, and he's got the hammer in his hand. So I'm like, you deal with it. And he sort of stood there and hesitated a little bit, and I could see, when you see someone, they're not confident, and he's just looked like he's hovered the hammer above its head like a couple of inches and hasn't secured its head, so its head's flailing about. And I could just tell he was going to try and tap it. I'm like, no, you're going to have to put some effort into it, man. And he sort of froze.
Sounds like a whack-a-mole scenario. Like just his head flopping around.
It kind of was. And he's froze. So I'm like, let me do it, mate. Like, I'd rather it be done properly than have it sort of like suffer anymore. So I've tried on its neck and done the deed. But driving home, I felt bad because I don't like killing things for no reason. Like if I'm going to shoot something, I want to eat it or take its fur or use it, apart from foxes. Like there's a bit of a grey line between, foxes and galahs. I can't stand galahs for the life of me. But with this
you
particular...
pick and choose as well.
Yeah, I do, but I'd still feel bad if it was injured and suffering. But driving home, I was like, oh, poor thing's probably just trying to get to a feed on the other side of the road, and this dude's just smacked it with his caravan, and probably got some eggs in the bushes or something like that. I felt bad. That sort of empathy's right. That's fine because it lets you know you're still human. But going like full spec, like just full full into it, I just don't think it's right. I think that there's something wrong then inside the person. I think they've got some baggage, I don't know, that they're carrying out and they're just portraying on animals.
Yeah.
Saying full into it as in they don't believe animals should be killed for meat.
Yeah, or anything.
Like too much empathy.
Yeah.
And the fact that they got too much empathy that they don't really have empathy to put it out of its misery, or they're not capable to.
There's a balance. Like
And
I don't think I
how-
could. Yeah, you get finish your sentence, bro.
So that's how far society's come, is that disconnect of, like, we can't even put it out of its misery, let alone kill it for food and deal with it to make food out of it.
True.
Continue.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say now. Thanks for that.
All right. You passed the buck, so.
Oh, I was going to say, like, I don't think I could ever take my missus hunting. Like, she has no problem with me doing it, and she knows what I do, and she knows how ethical we are and all that sort of stuff. But her personally, I think she has too much empathy, and she's not a vegan, and she's definitely not saying, oh, you shouldn't eat meat. She fucking loves eating meat. But, it's when you decide to inflict an ideology or like some sort of virtue signaling upon everyone else when it's not really, practical. Like, we all got to eat meat. So, yeah, I don't think I could ever take my missus hunting because she feels heaps of empathy. Like, she'll cry in a sad TV commercial. Like, she has a lot of empathy. And I
Would
think
you offer it to her, though? Have you offered it?
Yeah, I've offered it. I don't think she could. Like,
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
It's a big
I
step.
just don't think that's, and I've heard other people talk about that as well. Like, for example, even when, like, perfect example of this is when Russell Brand was on Joe Rogan and he spoke about how he felt as well. And he respects Russell Brand was respecting what Joe Rogan did and he wanted to understand more about it, but he just within himself thought he has way too much empathy to bring himself to get to that point. And I don't think you probably can't.
But he comes at it from a good point of view because he's neutral. He's not like, oh, you should believe in the way that I do it.
Yeah, it's more of an educated perspective. And I don't think you can truly ever say, I could never do it until you're looking at something through a scope, ready to pull the trigger, or faced with the scenario like you were where you have to dispatch something to put it out of its misery. Like, there's
Or if you're in a position where you need food.
Yeah.
And you have the capability to do that.
Like that
would
is
you do it at that
that's a fair point. Like, if the world did go to shit, how many people would be able to? There's a bunch of us that have the skills to hunt meat now. There's probably a bunch of people that wouldn't have a problem with learning it, but then I think there'd be a lot of people who'd be stuffed that just have no idea, firstly,
And
wouldn't bring themselves to do it.
There wouldn't be enough hunters or people that are willing to do it, I wouldn't think, to be able to accommodate for the people that don't. So
No, there wouldn't be. And would we be willing to? Like, I would. My doors would be open to everyone, but the way hunters have been portrayed and sort of belittled in society these days, I guarantee you the majority of hunters would be like, if people come knocking for help, they'd be like, nah, get lost. Go fend for yourself.
It'd be like for the certain type of people that obviously, then again, you can't judge a person on a group, but it'd be a hefty trade because it's like, well, this is something that we cop so much flack over for however long, and this is a time and need, and you can't provide. So you should, I'm going to trade off because there's no money obviously at that point, or money may have value still. It's going to cost you a lot. You will survive, and I will supply you enough to survive, but it's going to cost you this.
Like your sons and daughters sort of cost.
Yeah, your first child. Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens
literally
when the
arm
world
and a leg.
collapses. We'll see when the world collapses and the hunters rise to the top and become the rulers of the world.
Yeah.
Mad
But
Max
like-
style.
We've seen it in COVID that it wasn't too far off with the meat supply through stores, or whether that was held back by Coles and Woolies themselves to manage how much was getting sort of panic bought. But we saw the lack of meat that was on the shelf at that time. So, to be honest, we weren't far off having that point where we needed to hunt.
Yeah.
I think we discussed this at the time, though. The government doesn't
did.
want
We
you to be able to do this for yourself. They want you suckling upon the teat because it's a control thing.
Mm-hmm.
Without going down
Anyway.
the tinfoil hat route again. But I think
that's
hopefully a lot of
done.
people wised up after the COVID debacle.
Quickly, everyone forgot, though.
Yeah, I don't think people wised up. I think there might be a few, but not the masses. Definitely not the masses. And it's short-lived. It's definitely forgotten.
Yeah.
True. I mean, even just move to the next generation, it'll be forgotten. So, anyway, should we roll on, gentlemen?
Roll on. What do you got, Cal?
So I discovered a few articles around. It's Christmas, so reindeer get rolled out around Christmas time. Let's be honest, it's not really an Australian thing for reindeer because we don't exist in snow. It's like 40 degrees summer heat in Christmas time, but nonetheless, I found an article when Googling reindeer and it brought to my attention. I've never actually heard about this, but they, back in 2016, there was a PETA article, then PETA, the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, whatever the hell it stands for. And the Brisbane City Council used to have these two red deer dressed up as reindeer and pulling a sleigh around. Now, they did this in the Queen Street Mall and then the surrounding areas. So I found this article from 2016, which I'll read because I then discovered that this had been going on 5 years before this article. So PETA had a problem with it, and their article is reindeer are not decorations, Christmas parades are no party for animals. Christmas is anything but merry for animals who are exploited for nativity scenes, lighting ceremonies, and any other holidays. They are carted from one event to the next and live in a perpetual state of confinement, discomfort, and stress. Often the reindeer, in air quotes, who are forced to perform in parades or nativity scenes in Australia are red deer, gentle animals with a natural instinct to run away from humans. At such events, they're subjected to a constant barrage of strange noises, activity, and people trying to touch them. Deer used in parades are often kept chained or on tight leashes so they can't escape and cause mayhem in the middle of a city by running across roads or fleeing while hooked up to a carriage filled with children. Should a deer become startled and break free, the consequences could be dangerous for everyone. I love how sensational they are with their wording of this whole thing. And then the next part of the article says, forced to perform in sweltering heat. December in Australia means hot temperatures sometimes reach up to 40 degrees Celsius or more. Forcing animals to parade around in such weather, let alone dressing them in ridiculous costumes, is shameful. We then move to a picture of fallow.
Fail.
Not red deer.
Peter know what they're talking about.
Choose kindness this Christmas. The holidays are time for joy and kindness, but dragging prey animals through busy city streets and shopping centres day after day is cruel. From singing Christmas carols, dancing and viewing the colourful lights, there are plenty of ways to make our holiday celebrations merry and bright without harming Rudolph. Animals are not Christmas decorations and they should never suffer for human entertainment. What you can do. We've been contacting councils and event organisers up and down the country to ask them to replace live animal displays with cruelty-free alternatives. If you come across such plans in your local area, please write to the organisers to ask them to rethink it below as a template letter that you can use for inspiration. Please add in the relevant details before you send it. So then they've given a pro forma of a template rather for a letter that you can write in, and they've put a link in this article to the Brisbane City Council where there's these two deer. So I found that, and sure enough, Brisbane City Council have these two red deer in velvet, and they've got them dressed up as reindeer and attached to a sleigh, and they haul people around, basically.
That's awesome.
Which is, I think, pretty
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
So they're tame as fuck, let's be honest, because they're obviously standing there while this lady's...
Practically pet deer.
Yeah, pet deer. So they're for all intents and purposes, are pretty domesticated at this point. I don't actually know if this is still going on because I've discovered it's been going on since 2011. Following this article in 2016, there was some video in 2017/18 where some activists actually went out to protest against the exploitation of deer, and they were handing out flyers. So that was around Christmas time a few years ago. In 2020, there was a petition to the Brisbane City Council to free the deer, to stop them basically having to cart people around on this sleigh. Now, I reached out to someone in Brisbane today and said, mate, is this still a thing or what? And he couldn't tell me. So I would put it to our listeners out there. Does the Brisbane City Council still have a sleigh with red deer dressed as reindeer carting people around?
Well, they're pretty young stags, actually.
They look young. I'll show you the photo, Josh. You can have a look at them. Where is it?
You know what would be funny though, due to the emails coming out from Peter, and having an alternative, they have full stuffed red deer that taxidermies have done of that actual deer still, and they use them on wheels.
Like what I didn't get.
That'd be the go.
What I didn't get about this whole thing is, we have horses. We go for camel rides. My daughters went on a camel ride on the weekend. Like, what's the difference, really? I
was thinking the same thing. Like what's the island in South Australia? Down in Victor, I think it is, where they have the Clydesdales.
Granite Island.
Granite Island. That's it.
Yep.
Like that was where I went to, because it's like, well, it's a horse. It's still an animal, and that's where I find is sort of they choose where they want to show sympathy.
Yeah, I mean, these deer have to be tame enough to not freak the fuck out in a public environment. So if they're tame enough to do that, then they're not going to be under duress. It's not like they're sticking a completely wild deer in a public space with the Christmas carols going on and people poking and prodding them and whatever. Like, they'd be used to it. They've been raised. They've probably been hand raised from like birth, probably. In my very little research that I did, but I'd never heard about this. It'd never come across the desk. So anyone in Brisbane, can you actually let us know if this is still a thing or it got shut down? Did Peter get their way? I want to know. I'll see
if I can ask some people around here.
Should get a petition signed to shut down Peter. That's what we should do.
Yeah, I think, again, back with the whole empathy thing, this is really a choose your own adventure, and what we're going to decide is a bad thing and what isn't.
Pescatarians.
Pescatarians,
yeah, they do that. They will eat fish but not animals, and it's like, well, wait a second.
But do they have a problem with the hunting of red meat, or they just prefer to just only eat fish?
I don't know.
I don't think there's a whole activism thing attached to that.
I don't think they believe fish are animals. I don't think they believe that fish have the same sort of mental capacity as land-based animals.
That's what I was under the impression of.
I've seen some pretty dumb sheep. Some pretty dumb.
You know what I like about sheep?
You can go up and pat it.
You have one sheep and you can see it has personality, but then you have 20 sheep and you're like, what a load of idiots.
I mean, if we're going on IQ, then there's some humans that should be on the dinner plate.
Herd mentality.
Jesus.
That's why we invented COVID.
That wasn't a bad breakdown, I don't think. Yeah.
That was all right.
A bit different. Thank you. Applause around.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We have an applause button, but yeah.
We do. The volume is down currently.
You just don't know where it is.
I haven't put the labels on the deck. Look, I'm going to take a stab. It's a 1 in 3 chance. I'm going to go with that one.
There we go. I deserve an applause. I can myself.
Look at me go, bloody champion. All right, let's keep it rolling because we're getting on a bit. So we'll keep it short and sweet for our last episode of the year. Thanks for hanging in. And here's a little tidbit for you, a little treat, launching back into a segment we haven't done in a long time, which is ND.
Negligent discharge. That was terrible.
And it's been a long time because he didn't do it right.
Oh, dear. We really need to just re-record that button.
I don't think that button exists, to be honest. It might. Oh, it does. Indeed.
Negligent discharge.
Ryan.
Fucking hell. There you go. Ryan's back on the podcast.
That's how.
And we've lost Couchy. We
Who's
lost
gonna
you.
play this one? I think
We lost you, mate.
I'm back.
Whatever you just said, say it again because we
Am
lost
I
you.
back?
You're back.
I'm not sure who's going to explain this one. I was thinking Josh, but I can explain it.
Yeah, you said the scene. It's your fuck up. So
Well, it was my fuck up. So, all right. So I'll set the scene. It goes back to actually when I got my rifles checked by the cops. So, got my rifles checked by the cops, and I just keep the bolts in the rifle. And I don't know. You ask 100 people, and you'll get different answers. But I should just read the law. So I had the bolts in the rifles, and then so I had 2 cops check on me, and 1 female, 1 male.
you got audited.
And audited. And so she wasn't fussed with the bolts. She's like, whatever. She didn't bat an eyelid. He's like, oh, are you supposed to keep these bolts out of the rifle? I'm like, I don't know. Well, I've asked and I get told different things. He's like, I'm pretty sure that you have to keep them out. So I'm like, whatever. I'll take them out. Chucked him in the ammo box. And I just liked his wording as pretty sure because he doesn't actually know. Caleb's Googling.
I am Googling. Keep going.
But so due to the fact I took the bolts out of the rifle when we went hunting 3 weeks ago, we went spotlighting at a place near sort of Churro. And me not thinking about it, I've got a Hauer 308 and a Hauer 223. And I just grab a bolt. I'm like, that's the one. Didn't even think twice. Grabbed that bolt, chucked it in the rifle, and then grabbed the ammo box and walked out.
Yeah.
So when we got to the property, we're sitting there having a few beers and having just a chill.
Calm before the storm.
Yeah. And then I do my usual thing and just sort of, when you check for that spotlight and see if it actually shines and you can see if the spotlight does anything. That's generally when we wait for it to head out. And without fail, this property will give me a fox. As the light drops at that point, I always seem to find a fox. It's generally the same spot every time. Anyway, there was a fox. So we set up the gun, loaded in. I took my 2D3. Took a great shot. Actually, it wasn't a great shot. It still killed it first shot. It wasn't exactly where I was aiming. It was like 2 inches low. But yeah, so go re-rack it because it was a second fox. So eject, nothing ejects. I'm like, what the fuck? Have a look, and it's still in the barrel. Go on, Josh. What are you going to say?
No, I'm just saying go back because I can't see you and it's...
Go back.
I mean Caleb on the screen.
Oh, you're both reading. Whatever.
We're both ready.
All right, so
Keep going.
So yeah, nothing ejects. I check it, and it's still in the barrel. And I'm like, what the fuck? This has never happened. It's 2D3. It's without fail. This gun just works all the time, every time. And I look at it, and we're trying to pry it out my fingers. And then I was contemplating going and because I had tools in the ute, so I had some side cutters. I'm like, do I cut some strainer wire? Josh suggested it, and I was seriously thinking about it because I'm like, this ruins the hunt. And then I put up a fight beforehand, going, we only need one gun. So this would have destroyed my argument. And then I pulled out the bolt out of the gun, grabbed a live round, and was like, there's a lot of wiggle room in the end of this bolt. What the fuck's going on here? And thank fuck that I chucked all my bolts in the ammo tin that I took with us. Because I chucked in my 308 bolt and the 2D3, and in my head, I wouldn't have thought it'd fit, but then same action, same everything. So just know the bolt face is different. That is my ND. That almost killed a trip.
Yeah, well, I at that point thought, oh, great, we've come out, we've driven an hour and a bit to this place, we've fired one shot, and now we're going to have to go home because you've got to spend cartridge jammed in your fucking barrel.
No, we wouldn't have went home. I would have got some strainer wire, and then I would have went back and fixed it.
And then destroyed his barrel.
No, it wouldn't have destroyed it. Like you tell you tell me. Strainer wire wouldn't be a hardened steel. Your barrel is definitely a hardened steel. With care, you'd be fine to slide that strainer wire down from the muzzle and then knock out your brass.
Yeah,
Admittedly, you would have to hold onto that piece of wire because you have to do it every shot. But it shouldn't actually really do much to your barrel, if anything.
Yeah, I agree. If you're obviously going to be very, very careful. So,
But what I want to know is if anyone else has done this before, because I hadn't even conceived it to being possible for a 308 bolt to be into your 223. But, I hadn't really thought about it either, so it makes sense.
look, I'm surprised it didn't even cross your mind when you were like grabbing your bolts because you knew that they were both in the ammo container. So how did you not think to be like, oh, is this the right one of the two?
No, because I'm used to my bolts being in my rifles. That's why I didn't think.
Yeah, but because they weren't, wouldn't that imply that you doubly cautious?
Nah, I'll just wing it. But then again, I should know because my 308's got a flared bolt knob.
Yep.
223 doesn't. So I should have.
Well, there's even more of a fail.
Wow.
But then again, I don't know. So that was a fail on my behalf.
Well, it was. It was pretty funny at the end of it, to be honest. But
It was.
at the time, yeah, it was a bit, how you going? So I've Googled and it specifies keeping ammunition locked up separately, but it doesn't actually say anything about the bolts. And I've literally just brought up this is in South Australia only, by the way, because I know in Queensland, for example, you've got to keep your bolts separate. And I've just put in bolt into the Act, Firearms Act for South Australia and gone through every instance of the word bolt, and there is nothing pertaining to keeping the bolt separately. There's storage requirements.
It doesn't make sense anyway because, I mean, like a lever action, say for some people, taking the bolt out of a lever gun, I guess you could say that's it's a basic sort of task, but a task that the average person wouldn't know how to do. So you wouldn't be able to remove the bolt out of your lever gun, for instance.
I'm pretty sure the copper, he did say that if you can remove, then you should.
But that just makes that law mute. It literally just makes that law mute.
Yeah, you can't be that wishy-washy.
What made me not believe him was the fact of he said, I am pretty sure.
Yeah,
so therefore he's just speculating. And a lot of the laws are a speculation of like interpretation of what the law, how it's written.
Yep.
So it leaves a lot of
for the 5 different websites I just went on and then actually going through the Firearms Act and searching bolt, like there's nothing that specifies it needs to be kept separately. It's like covered off by keeping the ammunition separate, really. Like if someone gets into your safe.
The guy didn't seem like a gun guy, so he's definitely not listening, but it'd be funny if he was. I deserve an apology.
Anyway, I accept no responsibility for what I just said. Do your own research. Make sure you're doing the right thing. In your state.
Yes.
So
Queensland's got to store it separately, eh?
Something like that.
Cashy's like, thank goodness I know. Because I wouldn't have looked that up.
Is it stored separately or it's stored outside the rifle? Like, you know how you got the
as I said, do your own research.
Little rack on the inside of the gun safe door, and it looks like it's there to hold bolts.
See, this is a weird thing. You're talking about law.
Just don't answer my question and just.
No, we're just disregarding you and telling you to do
Yeah,
your
I
own
didn't even
research.
hear what you said, man. Sorry.
Yeah, all right.
What'd you say?
No, it's gone. The moment's passed.
Oh. So this is the thing about law, man. I've got mates that are in the in SA, in the shooting community, and they believe that you're allowed to have a magazine loaded outside the gun and store it in like a locked container. Yet my interpretation of the act was
gun.
It's then considered a loaded gun, which is you're not allowed to do. But yet they're adamant that it's fine, that it is A-OK to do.
There's a problem with how just vague these laws can be, or they're written for a lawyer, not the individual, but they expect the individual to follow the law.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's yeah.
I think that's a lot petty as well. We should be allowed to have a magazine loaded and just keep it outside the gun and outside where the gun's stored. I think that should be fine. Well, if it's locked up in a separate compartment, what's the difference, man?
Well, true. I'm just going over it in my head. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing.
It makes no sense to lock it up with the ammo because therefore it's a hindrance, but it's not changing a whole lot. If anything, if you want to make it unusable in case of a break-in, that's the main reason of these laws, is so you can't use it as self-defense.
Yeah, but if you all right, for hypothetical reasons, you go to your safe, grab a gun out, then go to your ammo, you can grab a handful of rounds and load one in the chamber just as quick as what you could grabbing a magazine loaded.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not saying you can't. But before you cut me off, I was going to say that to make sense with the law of storing it separately, you would need to store the bolt in a third separate area.
Yeah,
to make any sense at all. Otherwise, there's no point.
Yeah.
Be like Inception, just have a safe within a safe.
Yes.
Like Russian nesting dolls. And to get to the inner sanctum is where the ammunition is. I don't know. It's weird. Make sure you do your own research. Make sure you're doing the right thing.
What happened to the good old days where you could just leave them underneath your bed loaded and just be like, yep, see, going to gonk out now.
Yeah, 96 change that.
Locked and loaded.
Excuse me, you are frightening me, Caleb.
Am I?
Yes, I feel
Report me,
threatened
bitch.
for my life.
Anyway, it's been a year.
It's been a journey.
It's been a journey.
It's been interesting.
It's been interesting.
It's been a lot of life changes, to be honest.
There is. It's been a shit year in some aspects. It's been a good year in other aspects. There's been wins. There's been ups. There's been downs. So that's life. Thanks for going on the journey with us this year, all our listeners. Thanks for sending the love like you guys do and interacting with us. We love talking to everyone who listens to the podcast. We enjoy talking to people who hate us as well, which I don't think there's many people that do. So
if you do, let us know.
Yeah. Voice your opinion.
I don't like you. Ever since our argument.
Other than Josh.
Ever since our argument.
Josh, that wasn't very Christian of you to belittle someone publicly.
I don't know how I've lasted this long, to be honest.
Yeah, neither, actually. What do you bring to what do you bring to the table?
CZ600 trail. That's what I bring.
Yeah. What you got no sugar fucking Jack Daniels, man. Sit the fuck back down.
I guess we could eat you and you'd sustain us if we were in trouble, or if we had to go for Hannibal.
You can eat me.
Hannibal or cannibal?
Hannibal Lecter.
But thanks guys for listening. Those that have listened to us for a while now, or newcomers coming through, it's much appreciated, and it makes us, I don't know, it gives us a bit of inspiration to continue doing things bigger and better for next year. So
exactly.
Until next year rocks up, and then we're like, oh damn, we still haven't got ourselves organised.
Hopes and dreams are up high right now, but give it when we come back, it might be just back to the same.
Look, I think anyone out there by now who's listened to us for this long has realised that we all run busy lives and all have jobs and things going on in our personal life, and it has been a crazy year. So we have done what we can to bring you the podcast. So thanks to those who have listened to all the new episodes. Thanks for everyone who's gone back and listened to the back catalogue and kept the numbers going. It's been good.
All right, let's get on with it.
I'm done.
You've got
I ran out of steam, Josh. Pep me up.
We've got to thank everybody for a good year and have a wonderful Christmas, guys.
Yeah, stay safe.
Stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't do drugs. Stay out of school. And have a awesome Christmas. And remember, it's not about Santa. It's about the birth of our Christ.
Oh, God damn. It's a podcast, not a pulpit.
Why'd you try and finish it like that, man?
Oh,
come on.
It's done. It's done. It's out there. It's in radio land for the people to hear.
Hey, Josh.
Well, according to Josh.
Did you know that you're always 6 minutes away from death, but breathing resets the clock?
Yeah,
Live
cool.
with that.
Cool. I don't die. I have eternal life.
Can I tell a joke to be my parting thing for the
No,
year?
you can't. Just wish our listeners a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and let's get on.
I just want to end on a funny note because I was really down. All right, I got a joke for you. We'll laugh and then we'll get out. In fact, let's thank the people who have supported us this year, this season. Again, High Caliber Cleaning Supplies, Firearm Owners United. Thank you, guys. Check them out.
Buy some Christmas goodies.
Buy some. Oh, jump on a High Caliber.
Oh, yeah.
Get
Get
a-
yourself some real oil.
Get some spicy discounts. Oh my gosh.
Make sure you enter.
Anyway, that's the
Mate.
weirdest thing I've ever done on this podcast. Yeah, let's end it there. Great season. We'll catch everyone next year. I'm going to go out with a joke.
Hit us.
What's worse than two girls running with scissors?
Go on.
Two girls scissoring with the runs. Come on, Josh. Don't pretend that's not funny.
Yeah, Josh,
It's
you might
funny.
like that one.
I'm trying to think of something witty to say, but
You
I
got
can't.
nothing.
That's pretty gross.
It is pretty gross. And on that note, it's time to end.
Again, for the fourth time.
All right, I'll wrap us up.
Righto, you dude and dudette. Stay frosty in this summery Christmas.
No dramas. Thanks for listening. We will be back next year. Stay tuned.
Will we?
Make sure you check out the Impact Dynamics episode featuring us doing a bit of Family Feud.
We're going from hot to gay to hype to gay. Like, put some jive in your strides.
Oh my gosh, Josh, don't touch me like that.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you in 2024.
2 fingers or 4.
Give me a fist, baby. Ciao.
G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.